Hello everybody. I'm back and here's another video for you guys. I know it's been a while. I did try to film a little bit earlier but I never followed through with it, so we're starting here. So basically it is currently the 27th of April and I literally just got back from a week trip in like the Whitsundays area in Queensland, and I've had dinner, so I'm refueled, that's the word I wanted, but it's time to unpack sadly. However, initially I was trying to film like a pack with me sort of thing, so like people who were going away could see what I packed, but then I kind of realised it would probably be more useful to do an unpack with me, and then I can also kill two birds with one stone. So basically I'm going to unpack my luggage and basically give you the rundown on what I really used, what I would recommend you taking, as well as what I would recommend you not take and not carry around for the whole time. So let's get into it. So I think I'm just going to start off with my carry-on. For carry-on I took this bag because I thought it would be nice to have like a big bag like this, because when we went on our boat trip we needed to take a small soft bag, so this was what I was planning on taking and I did end up taking, but that's why I chose it. Firstly, I took my drink bottle. This was my new drink bottle. To be honest, I really liked it. The one annoying thing is sometimes when there's not like a water refill station or like a big kitchen sink, it's hard to fit it under like the bathroom taps to get water, but other than that, take your own drink bottle. In here, this is a bit of a random one. I took sunscreen, which I used a lot of, particularly on the boat. I know lots of other people that certainly should have used it, but didn't. I took my nausea medication, which actually came in handy today because I've still been rocking from like the boat trip, and then I got my period, which makes me super nauseous as well. So I took one of these and it made me feel so much better. We've got my ginger calm tablets, which was so important on our boat trip. I recommend to anyone that at any point of their travels might be going on a boat, take these. It's better to just prevent it, because you think you're not going to get seasick and then you want the world to end when you do. So I lived off these while we were on the boat. I'm not sure how much they actually worked. They were definitely a placebo thing for me. I think it was a lot in my head making me seasick, but really used these a lot. Lip balm, classic, always need that. Air guard, which was super important in North Queensland because you don't want to get stung by the mozzies, and mozzies seem to love to attack me. I actually didn't get stung by any mozzies because I was wearing this, but I did get bitten by an ant and that actually got really itchy too, so maybe something to prevent ant bites would be good. I took Metamucil, so that's good to like keep you regular, you know the gist. I actually really just love the taste of Metamucil, and it also came in handy because I didn't really like the taste of the water in Queensland, so if I was wanting to hydrate with my meals I'd just throw one of these in the water, and it made it taste a lot nicer. So I definitely think I'm going to invest for my next trip in some also like cordial sachets or something, so it's not necessarily fibre but makes the water taste a bit nicer. We've got my hand sanitizer, super important these days with COVID. A sunscreen for the rest of my body. I didn't really use this too much because it wasn't that sunny and I just lay it up, but would still have brought that anyway. And then lastly I've got a little box where I took some jewellery, but to be honest I didn't really wear it. I forced myself to wear them one night because I was like, I'm going to be annoyed if I brought this and I didn't wear it at all, but I don't think I would have used it. If it was a bigger trip I might have had some occasions where it was nice to dress up, but I just wasn't feeling it. Next up I took these sunglasses. These are just some cheap ones I got when I went to Tassie, but they came in handy, did the job, but they're also cheap so I don't have to worry about them getting broken or dirty or whatever. I got in here, this is a gift for someone that I purchased, so I'm not going to show you what that is. This was just like, it's my little girl kit I guess, pads, tampons, all that jazz. Came in handy today. Then we've got my bum bag. Sadly I didn't get to use it too much. I probably, actually no, there wasn't really an occasion where I really needed it. It's probably the best when I was on the planes and wanted to have like my Airpods and stuff on me when I could put my carry-on away. What do I have in here? There you go, boarding pass, AirPods. AirPods are so good on planes. Like, I got the noise cancelling ones, so that was super handy. I also put them in when I fall asleep, just in case anyone's snoring. I can block that out. Got some Mentos. I always need something to chew on, just in case my ears go funny. This, sadly, I didn't get to use, so for my birthday. Some of you might have seen that I got this stabilizer, which is super cool, and I was excited to try and film some content on it. However, because it was just so rainy all the time, I didn't like getting my phone out in the rain, and I definitely wouldn't have liked having this out in the rain for too long either. So I sadly didn't get to use it, but hopefully I'll go somewhere sunny that is actually sunny that I can try it out. It is quite heavy though, so bit of a bummer I didn't get to use that one. Then this is like my electricals. I've got my wallet, basics there, charger, waterproof camera. That came in handy when we did some snorkeling, so I'd probably still take that. It's quite fun to have something you don't have to worry about getting wet. And then I've also just got a power bank, which I didn't actually use because my phone's actually pretty good now. I've got the new one. It doesn't run out of charge that very quickly. I also have my speaker. Did not use this except for one night. Just didn't really have a situation where I needed it. Other people had speakers on the boat though, so they just brought out theirs. I didn't pack mine because I didn't want to take it on, but not sure I would have taken this if I went back in time. This was a lifesaver. This is just a bag that folds up really small. Super handy when we had to go to the grocery store every day to get groceries that we were going to cook in the hostel kitchen. And then in here I just packed some essentials. I've got a jumper. This one was handy. It was more like a comfort. I didn't really need a jumper when we were away. It wasn't that cold, but more to snuggle with and have at night, so that was cool. A hat. This was the only hat that I wore the entirety of the trip. Just a basic cap. Liked it. Did the job. And then also a raincoat, which I definitely needed. The boat was so wet, like you'd have to sit out the front and they'd be like, embrace the rain, and then you're just getting pelted by waves of salty seawater, and you've got the wind blowing at you too, so you're like cold because the sun didn't come out for the entirety of our trip. So a raincoat is super important. A lot of the people were like backpacking the east coast of Australia and were from Europe, and they hadn't even packed like a raincoat. They're like, Australia is sunny, I just need like a bikini or whatever, and I'm like, regrets. But I'm thinking that maybe I could invest in one that folds up really small, has I guess a pouch to fold up into. That would be pretty good. That was all for my carry-on luggage too. So next we'll be moving on to my checked luggage. Oh, everything just fell. That was not my smartest idea. I've literally just piled it up here beside me, guys. So next up was my checked luggage. So this is what I took with me. I know it looks like a lot. It's just very poorly packed, trust me. And it would have lasted me a longer amount of time had I gone away for a longer trip. So this is Olivia the Osprey. Some of you may have heard about her. She's my baby. So basically, I really like this backpack. Would recommend it for anyone going backpacking because she's got her straps at the back with hip padding too, which means when it's super heavy I can divide the weight between my shoulders and hips. But what I really liked is, let me turn her around for you, you can put these away in here, and like when you check it in at the airport, or if you're not needing to wear it as a backpack, it's got this really handy little zip up bit, so I can zip away the straps and have it more like an enclosed bag. There we go. Ta-da! And then it's nice and handy. And the other thing that it has, which was super cool, is if I undo these straps you might see it better. It's got a matching backpack that actually zips onto the outside, so then you can zip off the backpack and use that as your carry-on. I definitely think a backpack might have been handier when we did the hike on our trip, but other than that, the tote bag was fine. Let's open her up. Okay, it's just, I took so many different packing cube sort of things, and that was handy. I would recommend. So these are just my leftover packing cubes because I had a laundry bag by then. Irissa bought me this before the trip, which came in so handy on the boat as well as off the boat. It's basically a waterproof phone case. So I put the lanyard on it and you basically slip your phone in there. And it's actually good, it's meant to be good to go into the water, but it was more handy just because it was constantly raining, as well as on the boat you're getting like splashed with water. If you wanted your phone with you, you needed it in one of these to keep it safe. So that was super handy. This is just my bag of disposable masks for the aeroplane. Luckily we don't need them anywhere else at the moment, but I kept a little stash in case I felt the need. And a dry bag. The dry bag I really liked for when I used the shared bathroom, like for showering, because I just put my clean clothes in there, wrap it up and hang it on one of the hooks. And I could also take my phone in and stuff and not worry about it getting wet. So definitely would recommend these. I also took my nice Ray-Ban sunglasses because it's like maybe the sun will come out and we'll go by the beach and I'll pop these on. The sun did not come out and I was never in a position where I would have wanted my nice, slightly more expensive sunglasses. I don't think in future like backpacking travels I'd take them either. It's more I think a luxury to leave at home and not have to worry about, so wouldn't take anything too nice. This I took a pair of thongs. I only used these in the shower. They were good for that. However, I did also get a super cheap pair of knockoff Birkenstocks from Kmart and recommended them to me, and to be honest these came through. I mean they don't have the Birkenstock base, but in so many situations where people were slipping over I actually had pretty good grip in these. They're great because when you're at the beach or walking around you can just rinse them off or literally walk in the water with them on if it's too rocky. It was definitely good for when we had to get into the dinghy to then go to the island because there was so much water in the bottom of the dinghy. And to be honest I could have used these for my shower shoes too. So if I was really being strict I could have dropped the thongs, but very handy. And also super comfy. And also one went missing and I was like not even caring because I was like, I spent $5 on them at Kmart, so it's a bargain. I took a visor because once again I was expecting so much sun, which there was none of, so wouldn't really take this on a backpacking trip. I took this towel, which is like a little fold up quick drying towel. I didn't actually get a chance to use it, but I wasn't swimming a lot or as much as I'd intended, so that probably justifies it. Then I took this crossbody bag, which I literally only used one night. Don't think I'd take it on a backpacking trip. I might get a more smaller compact thing. It's a bit of a weird shape to pack, so it wasn't a great idea. Then I got this, I bought this a few days beforehand. It's a raincoat for the backpack because it's not completely waterproof, so you just slip it over if it was raining. I definitely could have put it on that first day, but I was just not in the mood. We'd been stuck on the bus for 5 hours. It should have only been 30 minutes. And I just wanted to get to the accommodation, and my stuff did stay pretty dry, to be honest. It wasn't like I was out in pouring rain for too long, but always good to know you have that. So this is my clothes bag. This is the stuff that didn't end up in the laundry. I took this because I thought it'd be cute if I was in a beach day to tie my hair. Didn't use it, so probably won't take that on future trips, more an at-home thing. Got my pyjamas, that's essential, from Peter Alexander, you know the drill. My eye mask, this was definitely handy. To be honest, the rooms did stay pretty dark at the hostels, but on the boat we had like this random red light in our room that was on the whole time, so that was good to have an eye mask for that. Took a bucket hat, didn't use it. To be honest, I don't like bucket hats that much, so I don't know why I thought bring it on this trip, you might wear it. I brought these swimmers. Once again, we didn't swim too much, so I didn't really get to use them, so that was a waste. I also took a rashie because I was like, if we're swimming so much at the reefs and stuff, I might want some protection, but we're just on the tail end of stinger season, so we had to wear full stinger suits anyway, so didn't need that. I took this top, which I didn't wear. I thought that might be cute if we had a fun night out, but it was raining, so I didn't use it, and as you can see though, it got kind of crinkled, so I'm not sure I'll take that in the future. Some leggings which I wore on the plane, a bit of an essential, although I didn't wear them other than that first day, literally because they would have gotten wet and it was so much easier to just be in shorts and let the rain dry off you. And then also a classic linen striped button-up shirt. I love this shirt. I wore that a lot on the trip. And then this is like a really basic singlet top that I love to pair with everything, but I didn't want it to get dirty and wet on the trip, so I didn't wear that either. Next one, this was just underwear I didn't use, so I didn't end up using all my socks, all my bras, all my undies. There you go. And then this was my laundry bag, so you'll see everything I did wear. So I'm just not going to show you the underwear ones. This skirt I really liked. It felt really cute, handy. It does look crinkled, but because it's tight when you put it on, you can barely see the crinkles, I think. So I definitely will take that in the future. Just a basic black top to go with them. Ooh. These socks. Denim shorts was like what I lived in the entire boat trip. They got so wet though and definitely need a wash. Look at that, they even got the stain. I sat in something. Linen shorts also good except in the rain. They go a bit see-through. Keep that in mind, team. A white shirt. This was cute for the boat trip, although it's got a bit discoloured, so we're definitely going to have to bleach that when I wash it. Black singlet, white t-shirt, and then that's just my underwear. Also took some tampons, which came in handy today. I'll just show you this dry bag. Oh, it's all my wet stuff. So much of my stuff just didn't dry the entire trip because it was so humid and gross, so I just threw it in this bag to come home in. So I've got my swimmers. So my first swimsuit that I wore was these bottoms, which is super cute, with this red top. They're both from H&M. This one I wore a lot when we were in the stinger suit because when it was really cold my nipples came out, so this one's got padding, which is good. Then the other swimsuit is my Byeeeee one, which I love so much. This stuff smells, guys, that's how gross it is. There, love it. And then just like my green shirt, I had a blue striped linen shirt. Wore that so much on the boat. And then another quick dry towel, and so that's the one that I did use on the trip. Then we've also got here, I won't pull it out, but it was basically a cover that you can put over your bed when you're staying at hostels and stuff if it is a bit gross. Didn't need it, Magnum's was great, but I think I'd like to know I have that in the future if I'm doing longer trips. And then we've just got my Toiletries bag. So I took a perfume, did not use that at all. Panadol I did use. I was living off Panadol the first few days on the boat. Hair ties, razor I didn't use, and then just the essentials: soap, shampoo, comb, moisturizer. Yeah, you know the drill with all that stuff, team. And there you go, she's finally empty. Ta-da! Olivia the Osprey. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful if you're going on a trip to Queensland similar to mine, and what you might need or think about bringing with you. And hopefully I can even look back on this in future trips and realise what I do or don't use, because I'm definitely planning on doing some more travelling soon. Fingers crossed, if the world allows me to. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got anything else you want to see or any questions about the trip, let me know. I can film more, all that jazz. But I'll just see you in the next video. Bye!